California and China join to mitigate climate change. With China as an integral partner, California Governor, the Honorable Jerry Brown, hosted over 4,000 delegates representing 6 continents at the 3-day Global Climate Action Summit in San Francisco, California, United States. The meeting called for stronger planet protective actions from countries worldwide, including decarbonization and green innovations leading to economic prosperity for the benefit of citizens. Speaking at the summit, Xie Zhenhua, Special Representative on Climate Change Affairs of China, stated that China has given top priority to policies to mitigate global warming. Former U.S. Vice President and climate change expert, His Excellency Al Gore, expressed his appreciation of China's decisive actions in addressing climate change, saying, "China's leadership has been truly outstanding. I want to repeat the gratitude people around the world feel for China. A big round of applause, China and California, on your praiseworthy efforts to halt global warming. May all countries join in the noble efforts to preserve our lovely home planet in heaven's grace."
Thousands gathered to request wage equality in Switzerland. More than 20,000 people conducted a peaceful march through Bern, the capital city of Switzerland, to appeal for wage equality between men and women. The march was partly organized by the country's largest union, UNIA, and took place before a parliamentary amendment debate during which the Swiss government asked legislators for more oversight into how salaries are agreed upon. It was also requested that companies with more than 50 people be required to submit wage details to an independent organization for checking every 4 years. We laud your actions to ensure wage equality between all citizens, Switzerland, UNIA, and the kind Swiss people. We pray that in the future, fairness prevails for every worker across the globe.
Farmers increased yields by up to 50%. Scientists and farmers in Australia and the United States have been trialing a biodegradable plastic film developed by Australian company OneCrop to help with the germination process, protect the seeds, and conserve around 2 million liters of water per hectare. OneCrop has joined with Australian company Norseman Machinery to create a specifically designed machine that can plant seeds and place the film over the seeds all in one go. So far, the technology has been used in Australia on cotton crops and also in 10 U.S. states on corn, soybeans, and hemp, with promising results. OneCrop is also working on getting their technology into China, where they have already been using a similar method for 20 years, but with a non-biodegradable film. Congratulations, OneCrop and Norseman Machinery, on your promising advancement to conserve water and increase yields. May your fantastic innovations help the world's noble farmers who serve us with devotion and love.
Uganda initiates plan to educate refugee children. The government of Uganda, in collaboration with United Nations agencies and international NGOs, recently launched the Education Response Plan, ERP. Uganda is one of the top refugee-hosting countries in the world, with progressive policies towards welcoming refugees. People seeking asylum in Uganda live in settlements instead of camps and are provided with a plot of land to encourage self-reliance. The ERP is the first of its kind anywhere in the world, and once implemented and fully funded, will provide accessible and quality education for the hundreds of thousands of children living in Uganda's refugee settlements. The First Lady of Uganda and Minister of Education and Sports, the Honorable Janet K. Museveni, said, "Education is hope. It protects them and helps them cope with their difficult situation and builds a foundation from which they can reach their potential." Our wholehearted respect, Uganda, and all organizations involved in helping the children. In heaven's grace, may governments worldwide support and nurture their younger residents for a brighter tomorrow.
Lego to stop using plastic by 2030. Denmark-based popular children's toy company, Lego, has announced that by 2030 they will no longer produce their famous blocks from non-biodegradable plastic. Instead, they would be made from plant-based materials. Later this year, LEGO will release their first eco-friendly product, which will be 25 bricks that are nature-inspired and produced from sugarcane polyethylene. The company stated resources should be sourced and used responsibly so they would still benefit future generations. LEGO has also promised to use 100% renewable energy by 2020 and would try to use a carbon-neutral supply chain. Great job, LEGO! May your eco-friendly products bring countless hours of learning and fun to children all over the world.
Tibetan Opera Museum being built in Lhasa. The Chinese government has begun the construction of the first Tibetan Opera Museum in Lhasa, capital of Tibet Autonomous Region, China. It will present the history, branches, and development of Tibetan opera and introduce its costumes, masks, and theatrical properties. Inscribed in 2009 on the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity, the opera was inspired by Buddhist teachings, legend, and history. Performances feature a rich combination of music, dance, drama, acrobatics, chanting, and comedy. A favorite during Tibetan festivals and celebrations, Tibetan opera performances continue to enchant audiences and attract tourists. The museum should be finished in the first half of 2019 at a cost of approximately $800,000. We are delighted to hear of the new Tibetan Museum, helping to safeguard this unique and amazing cultural tradition. May the rich heritage of our world be ever more honored and respected.
Canadian community surprises a grieving family with generous support when 6-year-old Ariel and 3-year-old Liam from Red Deer in central Alberta, Canada, lost both their parents in a tragic motorcycle accident. The grandparents suddenly found themselves raising 2 young children on a tight budget. Grandfather Ben Carey-Luke reluctantly decided to have auctioned off the classic 1973 Pontiac car that his son, the children's father, had lovingly refurbished to one day give to his children. After the auctioneer told the audience about the family's story, the vintage car sold at a much higher price than expected, with the buyer donating the car back so that it could be auctioned off again. A second buyer did the same. The third and final buyer gave the car back to the Carey-Luke family. Throughout the entire 10 minutes, everyone in the room clapped and cheered with tears of joy. With additional individual contributions, the total fund raised for the children was more than $76,000. God bless all the generous Red Deer citizens for your amazing show of support. Such an outpouring of love will surely have a positive ripple effect throughout our world.